Bhavin Shah, CEO of Aquarius Securities, who tracks this space very closely, joins us on the show from Ahmedabad as well. Bhavin, your initial reaction, it has corrected 7.5%, but you think, one, the cut in guidance, two, the rupee trajectory, all of that spells more downside for Infosys, pending, of course, the management commentary?
Well, I think the valuation of Infosys is fairly depressed compared to other IT stocks. So I think significant downside from here. I'm not sure because the company has retained its dollar guidance for the year, and from what I understand, it does not include Lodestone, in contrast to what is otherwise reported. So that implies 3.5% growth in next 2 quarters in dollar terms. However, indeed the margin, the EBIT number is very weak, and that is suggesting that in spite of the rupee, the company has perhaps had to address basically pricing to get at least this much growth. So it's clearly reflective of very difficult environment for IT stocks. We are underweight on the sector, but in Infosys in particular, yes, it continues to not yet find its the groove in terms of at least matching the industry growth rates. So from these levels, don't see too much downside from these levels, but obviously there is no reason to expect any upside over the next 12 months.
Bhavin, what about the stock per se? Yeah, sure enough, you're talking about not any upside expected and some downside as well. But is the stock headed in for a derating? Because just a couple of days back, and we had a global brokerage come out and say that they see Infosys target lower by about almost 50%.
Well, I think if Infosys goes down by 50%, I can assure you that other IT stocks will also, will go down by another 30–40%, if not more, because that would imply a very, very difficult environment for the IT sector as a whole. So I don't think we can look at Infosys in isolation in this regard. I think it's reflective of a very difficult environment. We have written about this for more than a year that the industry is going to see much lower secular growth to begin with. So I think if Infosys is growing at 5%, the top company in the sector is not going to grow more than 10–12%. So I think it's really the challenge that the whole industry is facing.
Bhavin, before we let you go, really, the pecking order for large cap IT and maybe a target price on Infosys as well.
Well, our previous target was 2379. So obviously after this we'll have to see maybe there is some cut in that as well. So there probably will be, maybe, I don't know exactly how much, but there will be small cut in our target price. As far as the pecking order, we have an underweight on the sector. We have a short rating on TCS, HCL, Wipro. We had a trade rating on Infosys in the sense that we thought it would move sideways, and basically in a range. And I think that rating probably will remain, given that it's already corrected significantly this morning.